Alright everyone, how are you? Today we are going to rank every single Mario game generation. And by generation, I don't mean console, I mean generation. It started from the 3rd and all the way to the 9th. So yeah, let's start. First is the 3rd generation Mario game, which consists of the Nintendo Entertainment System and Game Boy, you can say. Now, this generation is where everything started. Mario was introduced in Donkey Kong, which is an arcade game. But it was Super Mario Bros. In 1985 that made Mario a global phenomenon. Yes, it is a global phenomenon. We also got games like Dr. Mario and Yoshi in this generation. So it basically set up everything that was about to come. Even if only Super Mario Bros. Was in this generation, it would still have had S. Because that's how great and legendary this game is. So 3rd generation Mario will get S tier. Now the 4th generation, which is the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. This is where the 16-bit era comes in. The 4th generation Mario game is something I would like to call an era of improvement. You know, the technology improved, and the games got a little bit bigger. And this made Nintendo improve Mario games. The first Super Mario game is very simple. But if you play Super Mario Bros. 3, you can tell that there are a lot of improvements. There are a lot of new mechanics and new enemies. It just feels like an advanced version of the game. And we didn't really get to see anything new or extraordinary in the 4th generation. But still, the games were amazing like Super Mario Bros. 3. So I'm going to give this generation tier list an A. It is not quite as good, but it still deserves the A tier. Now the 5th generation, which is the generation of PlayStation 1, I mean Nintendo 64. This is where the 3D era begins, and we got to see Super Mario Bros. 64, which everyone has played. Unless you didn't have a Nintendo 64 in your childhood. So I forgot. So, this generation is where the 3D revolution happened. Super Mario Bros. 64, Super Smash Bros., and a lot of other Mario games. And anything less than F would be a crime to give here. It's basically really nice the way Nintendo functions. I wasn't born when Super Mario 64 was released, but even if I play it today, I'm just fascinated by the detailing. Like the water, the castle, and the objects, how they interact. They put it all together in 10 MB. That's mind-blowing. S tier for sure. Now the 6th generation of gaming, or Mario's 4th generation, is the infamous, or famous, GameCube era. And you might hate me for this, but I'll give it a B tier. They were good games, like Luigi's Mansion. But besides that, you really can't tell that, hey, this is the masterpiece game of this era. Most of them were remastered or ported to the Game Boy Advance or GameCube. They really didn't do anything extraordinary in this era, which is not bad. You can't always hate, but B tier is also not that bad. GameCube is also bad, as I've heard from fans, but its library is quite small and quite limited. I've said what I wanted to say. B tier for the 6th generation of Mario gaming. Now moving on to the 7th, the HD era, where the real HD era begins, we got the Nintendo Wii. The console that everyone wanted in their childhood, but not everyone got. Because that SOB was always out of stock somehow. And with the deepest of my heart, I'm going to give this generation a straight-up S tier. Wii Kart, Nintendo, Super Mario Wii, and a huge ton of other games. This generation really brings back the joy Mario games could have. After the Game Boy generation, the Wii sold more than 100 million copies. That's more than any game in its generation. But yeah, it's definitely not about the Wii. We'll deal with them someday later. But that generation of Mario games was legendary. In that generation, Nintendo showed that, hey, we are still that creative powerhouse. Yeah, we're full fans, and we are a little mean to everyone. But when it comes to making Mario games, no one can compete with the fact that we're going to give you a ride of a lifetime. Now comes the next generation, the 8th generation. And I could say that this generation was quite disappointing. We had a console like the Wii U, a console that only a mother could love. Nintendo tried different types of mechanics and technology to combine with Mario, but not everything quite worked, because they forgot that the strength of Mario is not from advanced weird mechanics, it's from the joy, the characters, and the gameplay. And they missed it. But till we didn't go like people dogshit games, we had some quite extraordinary games in this generation too. There were not a lot, maybe 1 or 2. So that's why I'm going to give this generation a B tier. Now onto the next and last generation for now, which is the Nintendo Switch generation, or 9th generation. And this generation made a great comeback. It brings back another creativity. It's the cycle. Nintendo will go up, then they will go down. Then they will go into a rabbit hole, and then they will go back again to the top. That's how they function. This generation will not quite reach S tier, but for sure A tier. They bring back the creative power that Nintendo could have used with the Wii U. And this generation is still going strong. We got Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which is probable Game of the Year. You get my point. So this was my tier list, or ranking, you can say, about each generation of Mario games. And I have high hopes for the 10th generation of Mario games, but there is still some time for that. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to this channel. That would really mean a lot. And you can comment down your opinion. Maybe you had a GameCube generation as an after year, and that would be great to know. I love hearing the audience's opinion, so do that. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and have a nice day.